literally you have no chance against that guy if he does an A to B and you see something like that. This is actually me in disguise. Like if you roll that hairline back and you put like a super like hobo beard. Let's watch this video, maybe. I mean, let me know. I can always just come back to this. I'm honestly just, I don't know. I'm not tired, so I'm just hanging out. So we're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna skip through it kind of because I've watched some of it. I really just kind of want to see the runs. So if you haven't already seen this, so like this is the guy that owns Liam now. And he drove all the way out here, I guess for the second time, because he drove all the way out here to pick up the truck. And then he drove all the way out here again for that race at Yellow Belly a while back. This is old. It's an old race, but he just put the video out not too long ago. I think I can just pause. Oh yeah, I can just press pause using K, so then I can talk. I like the lessons that I hate learning are the ones where I like in the beginning or like right before it happened, I was like, man, I don't know. I really think I should probably do this. And I'm like, nah, we'll be good for one more pass. And then it breaks. And it was literally the thing that could have kept it from breaking, like cleaning my fuel filters or something.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back. It's been a little bit, but a little bit ago we went to Texas.
That's how we all start out our videos because none of us are consistent.
It was always on a radial, so we got some fresh CO7 Hoosiers.
It was not always on a radio. I mean, well, since the time that he's had it, but I mean, I think I actually only had it on a radio for, I think it was probably like 6 months or something after we moved down. So I actually had slicks on it for far longer than we had radials on it, but it works better on the radials, and it could have gone a lot faster in this race if it was back on the radial for sure.
Some slick boys for the no prep action, and with the added turbo and the injectors, we were out of fuel, so we added, this thing's filthy, we added a second pump, and don't mind my ghetto plumbing, it was...
So it's kind of funny. And it's not his ghetto plumbing. I'll take credit for that. I rigged some stuff. Temporary fuel pump, had to get it back to a single pump. Whatever.
Very last minute.
I'll own it.
We got a second pump in there. Then Derek recalibrated the tune, got it to come on under boost. So we have one pump when we need it and two. So honestly, this Liam is really better than he's been for a long time. He was ripping.
So, okay, before this next one, because like both of these, it actually did really good here. The settings that were on here, so like when he first got the truck, I thought I had all of my normal settings on there, like the timing retards that I normally use, and traction control was available. The first couple of times that he took it to the track, it was doing really terrible. It was like lighting up tires every time. Like even at the track, it was lighting up the tires. And he was always like, well, it's a really shitty track or whatever. I'm like, motherfucker, this will go down a dirt road. What do you mean? There's got to be something going on. Well, he wasn't using the features that I thought he was using the whole time, because the timing retards weren't there. They were actually the 3-step tables. And to make the 3-step table works, or to make the 3-step tables work, you have to really, you have to have a pretty in-depth knowledge of how those things work, because they were definitely a rig in this car. So you had to have some previous data to actually shape them the way that they would be useful. So he wasn't using those. So no timing retards off the button. And then he wasn't even using the traction control. So like we got it to a point where we made sure that the traction control was available. And so he was using it on this one, but the settings were like way too high. So like the fact that it even went down it was actually pretty impressive. I was really excited to see how it did. Rigging is just another word for installed correctly to me. I mean, if it worked, it was right. If it worked, it was correct, I guess. 3-step timing retard. Yeah. Oh wait, we had we had that on yours. Yeah, dude, it's really helpful if you know how to manipulate it. It can be your best friend. It could be your best safety net for somebody that doesn't have a speed sensor or anything. It was left over on this car because obviously this has front and rear wheel speeds, so we didn't really need those anymore.
So we loaded up for Texas. I hauled my boy Lego's dually out there, threw it on the back of the 2-car. We hit the road, and we drove all night, all day. We got to Yellow Belly for Thursday night. Made a couple test hits, made 3 actually. I'm gonna show you guys those.
So literally the very first pass that we did, he sent me the video of it, and I'm like, "Yep, that's the softest calibration that we're gonna send through this thing today." And it went right down, but it rattled the tires way more than it should have. I'm like, dude, we're gonna have to really battle some smashing tires and tire shake and stuff. And that was pretty much the theme of the day was go as fast as we can without folding the tire over itself. Yeah, almost always. Liam, like most of the time, there was too much noise going on, and like some of the other passes that we have at this track. But there's a low area, there's a dip, like right before the 60 foot, and it comes back up like just. I think it's actually all right before the 60 foot. As soon as you go over that, a lot of cars will just break the tires loose. They'll lose it right there. Like that's a really challenging portion to get by because that's really where you want to be pouring in a whole bunch of power. Um, Lamb's always been pretty good about soaking that bump up, but you'll hear it start kind of like managing the tire after that bump because it unsettles pretty much everybody. Little wheel speed, smashing it. Yeah, like I mean, this is still leaving pretty light, and it was already smashing it. And this is a CO7 slick, so like I previously when I was on a slick, I was always on a DO6, like a 2810. So like these CO7s, I was like, maybe we can get away with it. Like if it's slick enough there, then maybe. I was hoping it was going to be really crappy, but Yellow Belly's not slick. It's challenging because it's bumpy and crappy, and you never know, like if there's going to be beer on the freaking track or something like that. But slippery is not really what I would ever describe like the starting line and like the first 150 feet is definitely not slippery. So yeah, I was pretty sure that it was going to pound that tire a little bit too hard without making a bar change. I don't think I would have gone to the slick if it was going to race at the track. Slick was great for that street that I was on earlier. The bar settings will separate enough to drive that into the ground without really smashing it because it doesn't have enough mechanical grip to hold it. But at the track where it has the mechanical grip, it's just going to smash it, fold it over. Yeah, or you got to run ungodly tire pressure, and then you're kind of, there's a crossroads, right, where you're putting enough air pressure in there to manage the smash, but you're also taking away grip later on in the run. So it starts not being worth putting in the pressure.
We got it dialed in pretty decent for the next day, which was Friday night.
Those are the best passes that truck has had since it's been in his hands. He was pretty stoked. It's not he didn't seem as excited here, but it was doing really good.
I entered the JV class, which was a 530 index class, and I also entered Limpy small tire shootout just because I thought, hey, might as well get some more passes in, and it actually paid off.
Dang. Look at this thing, bro.
Hook's hard there. It's the Baja terrain that gets people there. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's lumpy. It's pretty lumpy out there. Yeah,
Look at that thing.
Dude, all right. Honest opinion, what do you think about the hood? I I don't like the fact that it's the hood that has the 3 lines, but I should have put a hood on it a long time ago. It looks like this is exactly what we were going for, is like the cutouts and everything and just the turbo. I didn't even really want the manifold to be sticking out, but I couldn't get it low enough. But yeah, I like it. It's nice. I'm pretty sure I still have that cowl piece too. The like right by the window. I'm pretty sure I forgot to give it to him with the truck. I think it's in my garage.
Well, I'm gonna get the Jimmy Dale for sure.
Need some good rear shocks for them bumps. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you have the best shocks in the world. You need the right settings for it too. They can't be too stiff that they won't absorb that bump, but then they can't be too loose to where you'll allow the rear end to come back up, after it separates on the launch. So it's a super fine, like needle you got to thread. Now, I will say the easy button to get past that dip is just being on the rear wheels. I've never lost traction on the rear wheels going through that section.
Speaking of Jimmy Dale, he's right there.
All right, gang, so your name, that's Fall Time. Fall Time,
Look at all these famous people. I can't believe I missed this.
the invitation, once you invite yourself.
Did Billy run yet?
The first round of the shootout was, we were like one of the very first passes. First
Snugster, what's up? Hello, how are you? We're watching videos and stuff.
races of the night. I drew a square body Blazer, and I was a little worried. I don't know any of these rigs, and I felt like Liam was undergunned, but
Liam is always undergunned.
some dudes I was with are like, nah, you got this, you got this. So pulled up, let off the button, and we got a little Western, but we got it.
I think that's kind of an understatement. He got very Western. I missed it on this one. Let's just say that. Luckily, we both missed it.
Liam needs some. This is just the greatest thing ever. That's the original one. Are you kidding me? When you ain't got enough money, more than you got the turbo, you ain't got nothing else. That bitch right around.
Turbo's cheap too. I was actually really worried about. I guess I'm really worried about all of the people that he was racing, but particularly this one. I know that truck is capable of going pretty fast, and obviously more often than not, Robert Botello tunes that one. And realistically, the way that I look at it is there are certain people that I'm pretty confident are going to have their shit together when it comes to their tuner support or their track support. Robert's usually really got his shit together, and they'll make passes. So I always look at it as, all right, if Robert's doing that car, that car is going to do what it's capable of doing. So then if it's got a really nice setup or, makes a lot of power or whatever, it's probably going to use the appropriate amount. So I was really worried about it, obviously. I mean, Liam's going to do the same thing. The problem is he doesn't have much to really pull from. So he'll do what he's capable of doing. That's not as much as a lot of cars. Eyeballing my bed.
Hey, are you gonna bump or no? One bump? We're gonna go in first, one bump.
Here we go. They said they like the Nissan. Let's see.
Hopefully you guys can see it. They were both out of their mind kind of shape. Okay. Or, maybe I'll rewind it. I the only one that thinks that's weird? So like after he's bumped, he puts his hand on top of the steering wheel. That seems super strange to me. Like the way the buttons are set up, you're supposed to be able to like always keep your hands, at least always keep your left hand on there. So like this is the bump, but it's also the scramble. So like you're on the trans brake and you bump in, and that way you don't ever have to like take this hand off. And then that way you can put like just one finger on the button and you let go of the trans brake and pretty much immediately have to go down and shift into second gear. Then you put your hand back on. And then, you know, you go down and shift third and then you put your hand back on just in case you got to be like steering all over the place. But the entire time your left hand is still on the steering wheel because if you're able to, you got the scramble button there. I don't know why he's putting it up at the top. I mean, obviously no plans to scramble, but like if he did, he'd have to like make sure his right hand was on there and then move his hand down and then be able to press it. It's kind of weird. And it almost looked like he turned it right off the hit, which kind of looked like it went right, so it's probably a good thing that he turned it. Sorry, I screwed that up.
Yo! Drove the wheels off that bitch when we got
Such a cool shot. So we both definitely missed the tune on that. But, you know, driver or we missed it a little bit less. So that was kind of cool. He got pretty sideways. Like, he gathered that up pretty good.
That was a ride.
Hell yeah, boy.
Put your hair up. Oh, you check out that green line.
Well, you see, I was a
30 at night.
0 back to 100. Back to 0. So, but hey, you got to go 0 to 100 real quick.
Pedaling, but still got it through there.
Things were moving so slow. So the first round of the 5:30 class, we actually didn't do it till like 12:30 at night. So that's
like standard timing.
But whatever. Well, I was tired, but
For
I
out
drew
here.
this step side Chevy, and once again I was like, man, that looks like a it looks like a race truck. And Liam, you see him, he ain't nothing special. But
That's rude.
My boy Kenny was like, hey, I've seen this truck. He knew what was gonna happen. We did it, and sure enough, exactly what he said happened. And we got through there and pulled off another W, surprisingly. So we were just pumped.
Oh, that's another setting that I gotta start showing people. I wasn't sure if it was gonna hurt anything, but like like I'm a really strong supporter of burnout rev limiters. You don't need to be like banging on your overall rev limiter, especially if it's at a really high RPM. So I set a secondary rev limiter like specifically for the burnout, but I don't really like it banging on that limiter either. And so right before that limiter, so like that limiter is there for, safety purposes, so it doesn't go above it no matter what. But like I try to actually make it really easy to modulate the throttle, but still be able to give it plenty. Cause like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to like let off in a turbo car. Cause if you let off too much, you lose all your boost, you lose all your power, and then you have to get back into it and you just end up with those, pedaling stupid looking burnout. I have a really steep timing retard right before the rev limiter. So it takes a whole bunch of power away from it so that you're able to like come off the throttle, but still be giving it plenty. So it's easy to keep it at that RPM. So like if RPM drops a little bit, it feeds timing back in. Same sort of thing. We're creating a feedback loop right there. So it makes it very smooth, consistent. Like if you notice every time you hear Liam do a burnout, the only variations that you're going to be hearing is as he's shifting through the gears. But once he gets into third, it's a really consistent tone, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Man, it's been crazy.
How do you feel about long versus short burnouts? It depends. If so, yeah, it depends on a lot of variables. Like without getting too far into the weeds, a long burnout can be really useful if you're trying to put down as much of your own rubber as possible. So if you're on a bare street and you want to put down a lot of rubber, a long burnout can be really useful if you have enough prep down to actually mix with that rubber, so that you hope that it actually stays to the road pretty good. But you want to make sure that you're not rolling too far after the burnout so that you pick up a bunch of rocks. So it's tough. Like you want a long burnout, but you want to have it be controlled where you're like slow, so that once you do finish your burnout, you can just stop and you're not picking up a boatload of stuff on the way back. At the track, on a no prep surface like this, I try to always, this is water. Was this water burnout only or prep? If it's prep, I like to do relatively large burnouts because I know I'm going to use the appropriate amount of prep and have enough heat in the tire before I actually start moving forward through that prep that I feel like the burnouts that I do, I leave a really significantly stickier surface than a lot of people do in their burnouts. And I think that has to do with like how we do it. I'll do a very long puddle and I'll put the tire in just the very beginning of that puddle. Like my puddle probably goes from the back tire to like the back of the cab of the truck. So probably like 2.5 feet or something like that. Like that's how long the puddle is. And I'll put it in the very beginning. That's where I'll pick all the way up to third gear before I actually start moving forward. So that tire has soaked up the prep that was right under it. It's all the way up. You got basically molten rubber going on. Then you pass that tire through the fresh prep, and you carry it out a decent ways. So I like doing that. It gives you a nice pad of rubber to go on, particularly when the surface is marginal or whatever. Like I think I can get a little bit better of a launch surface if I do my burnouts that way. And if I'm able to do that, then I want as long of that surface as I can use in hopes that I stay on that surface for the entire way that I put it down. Some short burnout scenarios would be if you're in really bad asphalt and you know that rubber is not going to take. I would do a burnout hot enough for making sure that my tire is at a good temp so that it's nice and soft, but staying in place. I don't want to be rolling all the way out past the line and then come back and I literally have like studded tires with a bunch of rocks all over them. It's too hard to clean off. It's not worth it. So I'll do a relatively short burnout and stop close to where I'm going to actually launch. Hopefully that helped.
Crazy. Jimmy Dale almost got run over, bro.
Large all day. Plus the kids in the stands love it. I always get bitched at by someone for long burnouts, but it just feels right inside my heart. Yeah, feels right inside my pants sometimes too. Jesus, I can't spell. Sorry, I need my glasses. No, you're fine. I didn't even actually see any spelling errors, so either you can't spell or I can't, or either you can spell or I can't read. She got scared. See, more famous people. Looking at the heat exchanger and everything. Or no, wait, there's no intercooler back there anymore. I don't know what they're looking at. They're staring like, oh my god, this thing's a piece of shit. So I said this the other day. It's a little known fact that this is actually me in disguise. So like if you take away this hairline, like if you roll that hairline back and you put like a super like hobo beard on him, we're literally twins. I can't remember the guy's name. I'm actually not sure what his name is. Somebody made a joke about that. They were like, "Dude, your doppelganger's over there." I was like, "Who the fuck are they talking about?" I looked at him. I'm like, "Okay, I see it." I was wandering around a little bit on that one too. We had that thing on the threshold there. I'm not sure how much faster it could have gone. If it was on a radial, it would have had significantly better 60 foot. So that would have been probably the only thing. But up top, I think that was pretty close. 3,600 RPM launch, man up. Okay, so 3,700 RPM and 9 pounds of boost yielded the to the moon wheelie. So hey, every car's a little bit different.
Right lane for the win.
And also, we're trying not to crush the tire. So that would have probably done more harm than good.
Right lane for the win.
Liam's doing something right
I'm
tonight.
trying to see. I
Second one.
think I have the logs from this.
Oh fuck! You drug that ass, dude.
And we're not wet.
Nah, it's just that ain't normal, bro.
What did they do that time? Fine. Draggy.
And I spun and hit the rev loader pretty good out here.
Bro, you were out the entire time. Like,
We in the lanes. Full size truck going. Then it's back to small tire shootout. I'm racing. It's not looking good for me, guys. Thoughts and prayers for Liam. So for the next round of the shootout, we waited and waited and waited in the lanes. They had like oil down at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, nothing. So we were like, let's split it. It's too late. We're tired. We don't want to race. There's no way we're going to get this done. So we all voted, and I was voted to split it then because I was racing Snot, the Camaro, and that thing's a serious race.
So I don't actually have the log, unfortunately. I was going to pull it up and tell you what it was. But yeah, exactly. 3-speed. Like the starting line ratio is totally different. So 3,700 RPM and 9 pounds is like, decently spicy. But if we had a radial on there, it would have gone faster even on the same settings. Like the 60 foot would have been better even on the same settings. But we probably would have done probably a little bit more RPM. Probably not more boost though. Which is counterintuitive. Normally I'd want to go the other direction, but with that radial, it is actually kind of nice to have the RPM to actually abruptly hit the tire right off the hit. Oh, and so like that Snot car, dude, I swear, like, so Hayden had to race against him too, and he broke his transmission. And then when he was racing this guy, he like broke something. I don't know. It started just like smoking like crazy. That dude has really bad luck with anybody that I'm associated with, apparently.
Race car. Like, there's no chance I'm going to beat this guy. So if we split it now, maybe I'll get some money. They voted nope, let's do one more round. So I thought, well, whatever.
Oh, my bad. I thought he already said it. Spoiler alert. My bad.
It's all for fun. So, like I said, 5 a.m., we pull up. I do a burnout. Snot does a burnout. Thing starts smoking like crazy. Threw a valve, broke a valve off or something. So, I got a buy run, and I made it through the round, and I won some money. So, hey, you can't beat that. But I got lucky.
Liam doing Liam things. It's definition right there.
Because on that pass, I did everything like normal. I let off the button, and it just bogged. Had nothing. So if it was actually a race, even if it would have been a close opponent, I would have got smoked.
Yeah, and actually, we never figured out what that was. It just, for some reason on this pass, it bogged right off the button, and we have no idea what it was. I just ended up rolling it back to a previous calibration because we were emailing back and forth, and I think there's a handful of times, like maybe 2 or 3 times, where I'm pretty positive that a file got corrupt because of the email. Like, I know for sure the file was corrupt. But when it actually happened, I think is because we've been, when we email back and forth, I swear sometimes the files get messed up. So I think that's what ended up happening here. Luckily, it failed in a way where he was still able to go up there and do his thing. of I didn't realize how like uh, throttle happy he was in that burnout. I wonder if that's actually what broke something in that car. You see how much like he was whacking it back and forth? No, no homo. I don't give a shit what people say. I know that sucks when people break, and you never want anybody to break. You never wish that upon anybody, but you have to be a little giddy inside when you see something like that if you're in the other lane. It's like literally you have no chance against that guy if he does an A to B, and you see something like that, and you're like, no way.
God, it's slow, man.
His friend had a better reaction time.
God, it's slow, man.
Check out dude to the left. He would have got a better light. Yeah, so you see how it just like just lugged off the line.
That fucking boost came on, that motherfucker was like, oh shit. Hey. Oh, it was staying pretty good. I would have got fucking smoked with that path. Oh, it was on nothing on the bottom, huh? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I let off and it was full. Oh, I thought you just didn't let her go. Oh, I was letting her
He's like, nah, I was trying to make a hit, goddammit.
go.
We got real lucky on that one, but we made some money, but we still had to finish JV in the morning, 5:30 class. So I think we were first pair down in the morning. I was racing this convertible Mustang. It's a fast car. They're all fast cars at this point. Like if they made it through first round, they're fast. Somehow I made it through, but I got lucky. So we leave, he's out on me, and I think he thought he had me, and he didn't want to break out, so he let off, and I stayed on it, and I came around, and right before the finish line, and I got the win. So another one, we were like, dude, there's no way.
So that one's a good example of the burnout, what I'm talking about. I don't know, hopefully the volume is loud enough for you.
And right before the finish line, and I got the win. So another one, we were like, dude, there's no way.
Sorry, I rewound it too. Like it's really easy to hold it at that RPM. It's not like, you know, oh, he's got a really steady foot or whatever. Like, dude, you could almost completely mat it and it'll sound exactly the same. Like it'll hold that RPM. It literally like has a super hard time getting past that RPM. Floppy life. Like I think we were starting to get a little bit greedy with it, or maybe we needed to make a suspension change because like this kept getting worse.
So we went.
I don't know why he let out either. It almost looked like he let out because he was like getting loose, but it didn't look like he was really getting all that loose. I don't know what happened. That's unfortunate. That's gotta right at the very end. You see good old Liam pass you by. That's rough.
Went in the third round. Third third round came. Was racing a nitrous Mustang, which is a super fast car. I did my burnout, but I got lined up out of my tracks, so that was one strike against me. Second strike, the car's really fast. Third one, he basically double bowled me and didn't give me any time to spool. But I still had time, although the timing system was supposed to time out after 7 seconds. It timed out for like 3. So it immediately dropped.
So I think this is actually kind of a misunderstanding of the whole auto start thing. Like the 7-second thing is only like if the other guy is pre-staged and you're pre-staged and he goes in, you have 7 seconds to go in as well. That doesn't mean like if you go in early, it doesn't mean that the remaining amount of time. So like let's say as soon as they go in, you have 7 seconds to go in, and let's say you only take 3 of those seconds, and then you go in. You don't have 3 seconds until that light drops. It's not like the 7 seconds continues. The tree could drop immediately after you go in if you go in early. So he goes in, you wait 1 second, you go in, that tree could go. So that was a little bit weird, but there was a timing. There was a system error, but the way that he was describing it, I don't think that's quite correct concept.
Mine went red, he went green, he took off, and I just thought, what the heck, I let off. I didn't.
Yeah, I need Dave to use the keyboard and do that to mine. Last time out, I was like 77, 7800 coming out of the box on high gear. Yeah, I could tone that down a little bit. Or make it easier for you to tone it down. You don't even have to have like a very like heavy timing retard on there. Just something, it's supposed to be like a crutch for you. So that it's easier to hold that RPM.
Didn't protest it. I knew it was, I'm like, there's no way that was 7 seconds, but I didn't protest it because I really felt like I had nothing for that car. So if we re-ran it again, it was just going to be the same result. But it ended up being, it happened to multiple other people, like Casey Max, and they ended up rerunning those races because the tree did in fact screw up, but I was already gone. I didn't really care. So that ended our weekend. We decided not to stay for the next night because we had a long drive back, and since things were going.
Yeah, there was a whole other day. I think he was just like, dude, the car went rounds. It did really good. He's like, screw it. We're heading home. That's enough, which I probably would have too.